All right. Well, hello, brother man. Welcome to Mondays with Mason. If you don't mind, go ahead and introduce yourself here.
All right. Well, my name's Arthur. I go by the tag of I am somebody. I'm glad to be here, ready to talk some knowledge and just talk some things, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, wow. I'm super excited. Um, okay, so we had talked previously and we said we were going to go with the topic originality. That's just going to be the topic. That's what's going to run through. It's going to be originality. That's just what's going to run through the screen.
Yeah.
So yeah, what are your thoughts on originality? What do you think the importance of originality is, and do you see a lot of originality, I guess, in today's society?
Okay. So, yeah, I think that originality is actually like a lost art in today's society. I think that it's super important because original ideas kind of create paths for other people.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of things today I just kind of revamped of older stuff, right? Because people see that it works, right? And so they want to just jump onto it and try to get the same result. But at the same time, it's messing things up because they're not producing the same result exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And they're kind of, in a way, not even setting their own path. So I think that originality is kind of something that's lost, and true originality takes time to develop. For example, Tesla. Like I think, like, you know, Elon Musk and what he's trying to do with the Neuralink and all that kind of stuff with space. I think that's hella like original. So
yeah. Okay. I agree with you. I think that originality also takes some time, and it's not something that you see, I guess, common. I mean, everybody thinks that they're original at some point, and it's true that they are, but most of the time they're like seeing somebody else's blueprint or something like that, and they're like, okay, I'm going to use this blueprint to make myself known, or get successful in life and everything. It's like, I'm going to follow these steps that somebody else did or somebody that I admire did, and then see what we get from there.
Right, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. I think that if anything is kind of showing maybe honor or respect to the thing that was before.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I think that it's really important, kind of like in, I don't know, like in Naruto, right? So Naruto developed his own jutsu based off of the four Hokage and Jiraiya's jutsu.
Okay.
But he and those were the blueprints. But then he created his own special thing, which was his the one where he transforms into a woman. Like that was his original jutsu. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's important.
Yeah.
Sexy jutsu. That's
sexy jutsu. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
So how do you think people can become, I guess, original? Like, what is the of course, I guess there isn't any like formula to become original or successful or anything like that, but I don't know, do you think there are any type of like specific steps that one should take to be original?
I do. I think that it's all about being observant, right? And if you can find a problem, then you can solve it. See, Naruto developed, going back to Naruto, Naruto developed, the sexy jutsu because he wanted to learn about women, and he's a guy, so he had to learn how to transform to get research.
Yeah.
So if a person finds a problem, then they can start a whole different avenue. That's how these businesses start. Like they take off because they wanted, I think Facebook started off because he wanted to create like a social platform where they could interact at a collegiate level.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the thing is, once you find the problem, awareness in itself isn't the end result. It's, you have to put in the work to produce it, right? And that's where a lot of people just decide to copy somebody else because originality takes time and effort and failure and everything else.
Yeah. Okay, so it's all about taking the beaten path, and I guess staying true to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean that's hard to do though, with like, I guess today's day and age, social media, always comparing yourself to somebody else, or people comparing their lifestyles to, kind of putting on a front be like, hey, like my life is amazing, and like this is, these are the things that I'm doing out here. Because it seems like, at least nowadays, I don't know if it's just because of, like, I guess my age and the people that I follow now, or maybe just at a certain age, social media just becomes like a competition, just like site. Like, people don't necessarily post until like they're doing something. So it's like, and for certain social medias, of course, I'm only on like Instagram and Snapchat like that. And, I don't have a Twitter. So on Twitter, people will be saying whatever, but like those things where you like have those pictures and stuff, it's like, oh, like I'm doing things, like see me do things. So it can be hard to, staying in your own lane, especially when you see other people like getting ahead of you and you're like, man, like, like how they get there so fast? Or
I agree with you. I think that social media is a big, I don't know, motivator or influencer for envy. And it's like, people see it and it's like, oh, I need to be, if they're doing this and we started at the same time, yada, yada, I should be there too. But there are so many different factors. Like, everybody's different. And I think that that's the part that people are forgetting. Like, your Mondays with Mason, for example, you could absolutely be copying any other successful, quote unquote, successful podcast show or video show, but you're choosing to do it this way because it kind of suits you better, right? So you have to do what suits you. If you see somebody else wearing some pants and then you want those pants, you're gonna get it to fit you, not you know what I'm saying? Like you need to focus on just being who you are. And I think that like this right here is an example of originality taking form and the process. See, like what you said about, you can post a picture. A picture is just capturing that moment or whatever. But the process is actually the most important thing, right? So I think that in today's world, people forget about the process and only want to get to the destination. So
what do you think it means to say the word I? Or what do you mean, or what do you think it means to like, or the meaning behind I? Like, okay, so saying like, I am this, I will do this, my name is blah, blah, blah. The whole possessive, I guess, nouns, what do you think creates that, as far as like, like coming up with the word I, saying I in anything? Like, what does it mean to say I? Is that like everything about you? Is that your personality? Is that just, your opinion on the subject? Like, what part of that makes that up, I?
I'm with you, bro. Like, I'm with you. So yeah, I'm with you. So for me, I always thought of like those terms like I, me, you. It's definitely like a combination or an accumulation of a lot of different things, right? Like what is an I? You know what I'm saying? We are a collection of cells in itself, in our cell. Like, our physical nature is cells and different things working together. So I am just a combination of different personalities and experiences that I've experienced in my life. So our I can always change. This is cool because like I'm currently writing a book about you can't, like, or I can't, because it's not about us. Like, we think that we control a lot of stuff, but we don't. It's our cells. They're giving us all the information, all the stimuli around us is telling us what to do. And we are just kind of just following the thing. So going back, I guess we can kind of tie this in with the originality. If you're watching social media and you're looking at other people's posts and everything else, well, that's going to influence your I, because you're going to feel like I am not doing what they're doing, or I am not to the same status. So I think that we have to be careful with that I, like we really do, because man, that can be dangerous, because you start thinking, why am I not producing this result? Am I not doing something right? Like, am I worthy? Am I what? Like, and then people just start beating and beating. No, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. you got other factors in your life, and you need to focus on like just producing what you can produce. What do you think?
I agree with you. As far as like that last part, you need to start, when it comes to you do need to be careful with it as far as how you use it, what you use after it, especially because I feel like, and I mean, you and I had this conversation, but for the sake of the recording,
Yeah.
I think that, I believe that whatever you believe ends up becoming your reality. So if you say, whatever you use behind the word I or something like that, if you say it enough times, or if you truly believe that statement, then you will fall behind, that statement, or that statement will come out and turn into your reality or whatever, like I'm not good enough, then you won't be good enough. Or, like I don't know if you've ever noticed this, maybe not a situation for you per se, but just with other people, observation. When people say like, I'm tired, like you can literally see the difference in like, their actions or their behavior after they've said like some statement like that. Like you can have a conversation with someone and then like they'll completely like start to shut down, right? And then you'll be like, what's wrong? And then they'll say, once they vocalize it, they'll be like, I'm tired, or, I've just had a hard day or something like that. But I've noticed that they'll think that first, right? So once they think it, and like they'll be like, okay, like, I'm tired, like that's how it is. And then it will start to immediately, reflect in their actions and stuff like that. So saying the word I or whatever you use behind it, and if you want to use that to, your advantage, because most people don't even, think about it when they use I or something like that. But using I, me, my, whatever, that has a lot of power, especially with yourself.
Super powerful.
Yeah, super powerful. So if you, especially if we going back to like originality, if they want to be original, they have to say like those things behind them to, I guess, build up that image or build up that reality. But then it turns to a whole debate on like, how do you believe that reality? Like
you have to want to be original. Like you have to want to have that desire to be as original as you can. Like it doesn't just happen. You really have to seek it and look for it and try to put effort behind it. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that. I think that that's the first step. Like one, recognizing that you have so much that you can control, but that you want to seek originality or do whatever. So.
Okay. I'm trying to see if I can come up with with any more questions here for like, I guess this topic.
I got another thing about originality. Like,
okay.
So.
Go ahead.
So you can edit this, however you want. But I'm just saying, TikTok, that's an example, right? Of people kind of adding onto something that is original. There's always a first TikTok, right? For whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody copies that and just add onto it. But whoever does that first TikTok, like that's like boom. You know what I'm saying? That's the what we need to be kind of looking at or trying, because everybody is always trying to produce something like that at some point. And
setting
I think
trends.
Yeah, exactly, to set the trend, but somebody has to set the trend, right? Everybody else follows it easy. Anybody can follow something, but who sets it? Who puts in that effort, that thought to do it? And like that's cool. Like I think that's it. But the kind of society that we live in today, it's easier just to reproduce a TikTok than to actually sit down and create something new.
Yeah, create like original TikToks, whatever. Yeah. Especially given on like whatever the trend is, and it's like, hey, like if you can fulfill that trend, like if it's something like easy that you can do, like on TikToks, there's a bunch of dances, right? Yeah. So it's like, if you can just do the dance really well, then it's like, okay, then you'll gain, views or clout or whatever. And that will like go towards your fan base. And sometimes there are whole like careers made out of stuff like that. And, it's just like copying trends and stuff like that. Occasionally there will be like, something original like here or there, but most of the time like their fan base and stuff like that, or their clout or whatever was gained off of like other people's stuff.
Yep, and they don't care. Like their goal isn't to be original. Their goal is just to get the clout, as you said, and it's about, because sometimes the people who are original don't necessarily blow up because everybody else is copying that stuff, and it's hard to trace back to the actual original post.
Yeah.
So, like right now, I watched something that was kind of ridiculous yesterday, and like Little Uzi. Yeah, he got a diamond in his forehead, and I'm like, that's one hella original. I've never heard of anybody doing something like that. So now I'm so curious to find out if other rappers, artists, whatever, are gonna try to copy putting something in their head, just a different type of jewel or whatever. But like when I saw it, I was like, wow, like he spent $24 million. It's a whole different subject. Yeah. But like, I'm like, but that is super, super original. And I bet you, because people are gonna try to one up it or get caught from it, they're gonna probably do some things next. Now somebody's probably gonna put an injection in their cheek, in their arm, wherever it is. His is the first. I don't care. Like his is the first.
There's as far as like getting like that $24 million, like Lil Uzi doing that, I think he will forever be known for that. Like if he's not known for anything else, he will be known for that for like, the rest of existence. Like his music behind that, and then that, like as like his existence is, just gonna be like, wow, he got a $24 million diamond put in his forehead. Like that's it. Like and even if you don't know who that is, you would just be like the dude with the diamond, in his forehead or whatever. But there's actually an artist that did that before. He had, he's got a teardrop, like, those teardrop tattoos. It's a diamond teardrop implanted on his cheekbone. His name is Sauce Walker or something like that. And he was actually like going off on like social media and stuff like that, saying like, Lil Uzi copied him or whatever. But I thought that was interesting because I was like, okay, so like it goes to show that when being original, having maybe how big you are or how big your name is really goes to show, where, who did it first, who did it better, whatever, who started what. Because he had his first, but since he's not that big of an artist, like nobody like, knew about it. Nope. Yeah, but like the people that like know him and everything like that, it'd be like, oh, like, I mean, he did do it first, but, and then it would be like a whole debate because I think Lil Uzi said he did it in like 2017. Like he started paying for it in 2017, so like he couldn't have it implanted, but he had the idea, right? Yeah. So it goes to show like when it comes to being original, I guess it just matters if you do it in your own style versus like the whole, the simple act of doing it, implanting jewelry on your face or whatever. But it's like the style of it. He has $24 million, right there in his forehead, like versus like a little teardrop, little diamonds. But and it's like, it also goes to show just, when it comes to fame and everything like that, who did it first.
No, you're right. And so my question is actually, now that we're talking about clout, again, like Lil Uzi's getting like a lot of attention, right? That's what he did it for. He did it for attention. It absolutely worked. The other dude I didn't even know about. Like you say he did, I had no idea. So my question is originality overrated now? Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. Is being original, other than just knowing that you personally did it and the people in your group know that you did it, like, is it overrated?
I think to say it's overrated, I think it's definitely a personal opinion. Like, I think that would have to be like an individual to individual opinion type of thing to be like, is it overrated? Is it not? Because then we can look at, once again, the people that go back and have whole careers off of other people's stuff. Like, is originality overrated? And they would say, for sure. Like, why would I be original? I can do what they do, just better. Versus people who go out and set trends first, be like, yeah, like they would say originality is rare or something like that. So I think it would definitely be a person to person opinion, but I don't think it's overrated. I just think it's, don't know. I don't think it's like overrated or underrated type of thing. It's like I think it's necessary,
Yeah,
for sure. I think like originality is necessary for like day to day purposes, like inventions, um,
for sure.
style, having new things ingested into like daily life or life in general, or because of original people. They'd be like, oh, I have an idea, I'm gonna act on it, create it, build it up, present it, here it is. And then, boom. A bunch of people are gonna copy it, and then we'll have different variations of that original thing, or, we'll just stick with the original thing that was just so good. So
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. I think that it's necessary, and I think it does vary from person to person. I actually love originality, even if I get no shine for it or no one else knows about it. Like, when you're in a relationship, right? Sometimes you don't just want to go out and get just a whatever gift for whatever. Like everybody can go and get like a PlayStation or something like that, but like I want to do something special to show you that this is from me. I think that's the big driving force. You want to give the world something that is from you. Like that's like, I think that, going back to your like first question, like I think that is the huge like intrinsic desire. I want them to know that this is what I have to offer to the world. So maybe you can't even be original if you don't think that you have anything to offer to the world. Like legit, like, because that's a driving force. So.
Well, even if you have nothing to like offer the world, can't you still just like try hard enough and then something will stick to the wall type of deal? Hard workers, entrepreneurs, whatever, be like, this is from me. Maybe it didn't work, because a lot of times you'll see, if entrepreneurship doesn't work out for some people, they'll go on to work as like salesmen and stuff like that. And then, they'll be really good at salesmen because, they wanted to start their own business or whatever. So, they're selling insurance, selling whatever it is, and just be like, this might not be from me per se, but what I'm doing is from me. Like, you'll see that in my own style, whatever, as I'm talking to people door to door or whatever in my work.
I like that. I can agree with that. I like that, because I was wondering where you was going. But yeah, when everybody has to give their own pitch and their own style, and coming from a sales marketing background, there's definitely variations in how people communicate with other people. Like you have to. So yeah, I think that's key. So do you think that there's a correlation between creativity and originality? Because if you don't have any creativity to try to tweak your speech or your idea or whatever, then it's only going to hit certain audiences, if anything.
Yeah.
But if you increase your creativity and start incorporating different things, your originality or who you connect with like increases. You know what I'm saying? So what do you think?
I think creativity and originality go hand in hand to a degree, but I don't think creativity is essential, because we can, and I'm gonna go back to like what's it called, inventions, right? Somebody made the wheel, but if we look back on like historical times or whatever, the brain wasn't fully developed by the time we made a wheel or something like that. It wasn't like this really creative, they were really thinking, sitting down, and maybe I might be describing creativity wrong or have a different, perspective on creativity. But that's creative in itself. To invent anything is creative in itself.
True. But
I don't think that's like, showing creativity or like imagination or something like that. Really, they just needed a tool, right, to like move their stuff around. They were like, I'm sick of having to pick this up or drag it or something like that. I need something that's going to help me out here. And they were like, okay, let's make something to where it can, constantly roll. And they were like, okay, it's a wheel, like, and that was done. And then they got it going. Cavemen and fire, just clanking some rocks together, just trying to create warmth. Like at one point that was original, right? Making weapons, tools, anything like that, that's creativity, or whatever. And that's also original. Somebody originally made the tools Now, I think maybe in today's day, like in today's society or whatever, creativity might be an important aspect, but not essential at the same time, because we have marketing companies, we have, consulting groups or whatever that can take, somebody's product or creation or whatever the original thing is, agencies or whatever, and they'll be like, okay, we can take this and completely blow it up, right? Like, great job on this part. We got it from here because we didn't think about that. But now that you put it into the space, we got it. We can blow it up now. So I think it's like, it goes hand in hand, but like, to that extent.
I like that. That's what I call the guppy, like the guppy effect. Like where you're the little fish, something new, and then the big people, or the companies in this case, come and take it. But people make livings off of this, like just creating little new ideas. Like they seek opportunities to solve problems. Because when you went back to the wheel, I'm tired of carrying this stuff. Let me do something to fix this problem. So I think that from what we've talked about, like solving a problem is absolutely like a must. Like it has to be, like whatever it is, and then all the other stuff comes into play as in and out. But every single scenario that we've mentioned, solving a problem has been a thing, a common denominator. So yeah, common factor.
Cool.
Bro, this is cool. This is cool. I appreciate you inviting me to this, man. I like this. I watch your stuff, so like I'm glad to be a part of it and everything. So.
Oh no, I appreciate you volunteering and cooperating so you can be a part of it. It's really exciting to be able to talk to my bro on here. This conversation is probably one of the smoothest conversations. One, because we have conversations all the time, but it was I definitely gained some experience because trying to keep it on track and everything. So this is cool. But I think for the sake of the video, because I think this is probably maybe about like 20 minutes or so.
Ooh, yeah, you're gonna have some time editing, bro. You're gonna have time.
I think for the recording's sake, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. So do you want to say anything else to the people? Any other tags or anything like that you need to put out?
I would. I know that you and I are talking about a podcast, Outlandish. That's gonna come whenever it happens.
Yeah.
Shout out to you on your originality. If whoever's watching this, if you haven't subscribed to Mason's channel, definitely do so. I am going to be releasing some more content and articles, like again with I Am Somebody on Twitter, and that's SUMBODY. So, man, I'm just happy to be a part of this, bro. And I love the artwork in the back because it wasn't there when I was there with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for participating once again and being here. We appreciate your valuable time and helping us get enlightened even more. Once again, like he said, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And with that, we are at a close.